Hey guys, Joe here at JP Details with the world's most neglected Subaru Impreza STI and the first episode in a 5-part series which is going to cover the restoration of the Japanese import in great detail. The Impreza STI has literally just been imported to the UK and the lucky owner Armin is getting his new pride and joy up to the British detailing standards before he begins enjoying his ownership. The Impreza has already been rust-proofed on the underside and also received a tune by Chevron, which are specialist Subaru and Mitsubishi tuners here in Stafford. The car is currently running 385 brake horsepower and it sounds absolutely insane. First things first, we need to get the Subaru washed and decontaminated before completing a 2-stage machine polish, followed with the application of the G-Technic Crystal Serum Black treatment. On arrival, the Impreza was rather dirty, and it almost seemed as if the owner took an off-road rally route to get to the unit, as the exterior and arches were caked in mud. I've already taken a look at the visible parts of the paintwork under the studio lighting, and there is an abundance of paint spills and general defects that we are going to need to remove. This is going to be a rather informative video series just like the Mitsubishi Evo 8 restoration, so buckle your YouTube seatbelt and grab a warm beverage or a cold one and sit back and enjoy the series. Like all details, you need to start with the wheels. These are by far the dirtiest areas on a vehicle, and considering that we always use separate cleaning implements to clean the wheels, along with little point in getting the paintwork wet at this point, always tackle your wheels first and get them out of the way. Pre-rinse with the pressure washer to remove loose dirt and grime, and in this case a whole sheep ton of mud, before applying your iron fallout product to begin dissolving the iron contamination. When the product has been allowed to begin its chemical colour change, it is time to get in there with every single one of your wheel cleaning implements. My favourite brushes for the wheels are the large wheel woolies brush, which is excellent at cleaning the inner barrels, provided that there's enough room between the rotors and the barrels themselves, which there is on the Impreza. I'll quickly mention that I've already added Sam's detailing wheel soap to the wheel bucket, which is also filled with nicely warm water for this rather chilly winter's morning. I'm also 6 months into growing a beard, which is a personal record of mine. I'm heading for 12 months of growth, also known as a yeard, which could get interesting as the beard already has a mind of its own. The Swissvax wheel brush is a chunky and sturdy premium wheel brush, which I'll use for the faces of the alloys and the spokes themselves. I highly recommend all of the wheel brushes being used in today's video, as they have done me very well over the years. A sheepskin wash mitt for reaching behind the spokes, because with this vehicle we won't be taking the wheels off, and as a professional detailer I am an utter perfectionist. Finally, a tough shine tyre cleaning brush to clean the sidewalls of the semi-slick road legal tyres. I will return later to clean the arches, which is done shortly after I've applied the snow foam, as I use the snow foam as additional cleaning product to help to give the arches the best clean I can when I don't take the wheels off. The only decontamination stage left for the wheels at this point is the tar deposit removal stage, which is completed at the same time as the bodywork. The wheels are given a final pressure rinse before moving to the bodywork. The first step is to give the exterior a pressure rinse to remove the loose dirt and grime. In terms of washing the exterior of a vehicle, a pressure washer is your best tool. The more dirt and grime you remove from the paintwork prior to making direct contact whilst using your wash mitt is going to dramatically reduce the risk of inflicting any further swirl damage. And as you can see, the Impreza was rather dirty. Whilst giving the exterior an initial pressure rinse, I will open each of the doors and give the door shuts and sills a pre-rinse to remove loose dirt and grime and any large foreign bodies. My personal favourite snow foam is Built Hamber Auto Foam, as its cleaning ability is simply superb. I'll blanket a layer of snow foam over the exterior of the Impreza, not forgetting to open the filler cap and to also blanket the arches. Whilst the snow foam dwells, I'll take this opportunity to agitate the foam into all of the gaps, crevices and nooks and crannies, whilst also using Meguiar's APC diluted around 6:1 and a Swiss Wax exterior detail brush. By completing the detail brush stage will simply mean that we are able to clean all of the hard to reach areas. So when we move to using our wash mitt, we won't have to worry about cleaning these intricate areas with a bulky wash implement. When the detail brush stage is complete, the exterior is thoroughly pressure rinsed to remove as much dirt and grime from the exterior of the vehicle. All door shuts and sills, including the boot, are cleaned using a Swiss Wax exterior detail brush and Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner, followed with a pressure rinse. The contact hand wash using 2 buckets, one for rinse and one for wash, with a microfiber Madness wash mitt, I'll give the exterior a gentle yet thorough clean in straight lines where possible to remove the more stubborn dirt and grime. I'm using Valid Pro Concentrated Car Wash, which is a preparation shampoo that contains zero wax inhibitors or any gloss enhancers, and this product is going to be our first real step in the paintwork preparation process. I'll clean the roof first, followed with the bonnet, windscreen and then the side windows, before cleaning the sides, the front of the Impreza and then the rear. I will then take a secondary wash mitt and clean under the side skirts, front and rear bumpers and the painted inner arch lips. When the contact hand wash is complete, the exterior is thoroughly pressure rinsed. The first chemical decontamination stage is the tar deposit removal stage. I use a product called Auto Smart TARDIS, and you simply apply it to 1 or 2 sections at a time, allow it to dwell for roughly 30 seconds and then wipe the surfaces with a clean microfiber towel to remove all of the road tar deposits. This product also doubles up for removing any sticky or glue residue. I'm pretty sure it is also capable of removing other types of greasy contamination, so my preferred method is to clean all areas of paintwork wheels and windows using this product. It is very important to remove all of the different types of contamination from a vehicle prior to machine polishing, because if we didn't remove all of the contamination that was present, then the chances of them becoming trapped in the polishing and cutting pads is pretty high. This would result in those bits of mist contamination swirling around the paintwork causing damage, which would kind of defeat the object of what we are going for here, which in simple terms is motoring perfection, i.e. no swirl marks. If there is one important factor about removing tar deposits is that if they are not removed from the paintwork prior to claying, then those tar deposits that you missed when picked up in a clay bar is going to be the biggest cause for very questionable marring from the clay bar. Those little black blobs are pretty dense, and if they are scrubbed across the paintwork in a clay bar, I can assure you that those marks left behind are going to take more than a single stage machine polish to remove. So, complete your tar deposit removal process for the complete exterior without rushing, and ensure you don't leave any of those little black blighters behind. After the tar deposit removal stage is complete, the exterior is thoroughly pressure rinsed. One of my favourite parts of detailing is the iron fallout removal stage. My personal favourite product for this is Built Amber Corrosol. Apply Corrosol to the vehicle whilst it is still wet and simply give it as long as you can on the bodywork before it dries out. This is usually between 5 to 10 minutes. The longer the product remains on the surface of the vehicle, then the more iron fallout or ferrous contamination is going to dissolve. Apply complete covering to the vehicle, including the paintwork, windows, any chrome or plastic trim, and sit back for those 5 to 10 minutes whilst the chemical colour change takes place. Usually at this point I will be ready for a coffee. The amount of iron fallout contamination on the Subaru Impreza was pretty rife. It was a clear indication that this level of detail had certainly not been done in the last few years. The dark coloured paintwork doesn't show how badly contaminated the Impreza was, but you should shortly be able to see the product on the ground, which had formed various red puddles. After the iron fallout product had been allowed to dwell for its maximum work time, which was actually around the 15-minute mark due to it being a rather cloudy and mild day with slight dampness in the air, the exterior was thoroughly pressure rinsed. A final layer of snow foam is applied to the exterior to allow it to soak into all of the same gaps and crevices that both the tar deposit remover chemical and the iron fallout product soaked into. So, when I follow with using the pressure washer, there won't be any chemical decontamination product remnants remaining in those hard to reach areas. If I didn't do this final snow foam stage, then if I were to take the vehicle straight into the unit and gave it 10 minutes, the floor of the unit will be covered in red iron fallout puddles. So, in my opinion, at this stage, a final snow foam wash is essential to remove all final traces of chemical decontamination products. The clay bar stage, the last of the decontamination stages, I use a Meguiar's clay bar and Meguiar's Last Touch spray detailer as the clay lube and methodically and thoroughly clay each section of the exterior, including the paintwork, windows and any gloss trim. Simply glide the clay bar across each section until the surface becomes completely smooth. Take your time with the clay bar and refold it whenever it becomes moderately contaminated. A trick here when remoulding the clay bar to make it easier is to place the clay bar in a mug of boiling water for 5 minutes and you will find that the clay bar is super easy to remould. The clay bar is going to remove all final surface contamination, which is absolutely vital in being able to produce an outstanding end result. When the clay bar stage is complete, the bodywork is dried by hand using a few Microfiber Madness waffle weave drying towels. Another one of my personal favourite parts of detailing is blow drying the gaps, crevices, door shuts and sills, filler cap area, grills, wing mirrors and generally all of the areas where water becomes trapped in. When we move to machine polishing and particularly the ceramic coating stage, the last thing that we want, especially when trying to stick down our detailer's masking tape, is trapped water dripping down the paintwork, also making that masking tape impossible to stick. A professional detail should always include this stage as quite simply it is the professional thing to do. I use a single engine 4 horsepower Metrovac Master Blaster and would highly recommend purchasing one for yourself. Mine was around the £200 mark, however Metrovac do make a cheaper version around the £80 mark called the Sidekick, but I don't have any personal experience using this machine. Blow dry the gaps and crevices to remove the trapped water and to eliminate any drips before moving to the next stage, which is going to be covered in part 2 of the world's most neglected Subaru Impreza STI restoration, where we're going to be focusing on the paint correctional stages including final prep work, measuring the depth of the paintwork and a pre-correction inspection. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Just search JP Details. I'll hopefully catch you in the next one.